Show, not tell. This is the single most repeated sentence that every novice writer hears for the rest of their life. It only took me a restraining order to realize I misunderstood its meaning. Frames being more important than the story is probably the cinematic version of this statement. The reason behind these sayings is to remind the artist of their medium. You're working with words, so paint me a picture. You're holding the camera, so write us a novel, and so on and so forth. If we were going to make one of these statements for video games, it would probably be something like, gameplay is what defines games as works of art, not the story or graphics or music. Probably explains why some of your favorite games didn't win GOTY despite being such great experiences.
That's impossible! Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
Games should try to talk through their gameplay, to not tell the story, but show it to you. If you're curious to know how, I made a kinda related video to this one, so check that out too. But today, we're going to look into 5 games that in my opinion did it the best. As always, I appreciate any form of support, even as small as hitting the like button and subscribe. Before we start with the top 5, honorable mentions are Prince of Persia with time alteration, Katana Zero also with time alteration, Stray with showing us how it feels to be a cat, and Spec Ops for the most accurate recreation of war. Without further ado, let's go for it. Number 5. Machinarium. This point and click puzzle game is all about building and creating stuff. The whole gameplay is putting scraps and junks together and build helpful tools that opens your way. If you take a closer look, you notice that everything, even the characters, are built out of the scraps and you have to get along with that. So what does the game tries to tell us? That this world, just like as its name suggests, is the city of machinery. If you want something, you have to build it. Funny enough, most of the characters won't do that. They're just sitting somewhere crying over their frustration. If metal sits in a place, it gets rusty. Let me ask you, how much rust can you see in this city? Number 4. Enter the Gungeon. A very guaranteed way of telling people you like the color blue is to wear it, fill your room with it, make it about yourself. Enter the Gungeon does exactly that. The enemies are all guns, bullets, explosives and grenades. The health bar is made of bullets. The elevator is a shell. Everything. Now you might say this is the world building and art design. What does it have to do with the gameplay? Well, that's actually the case here too. The gameplay is basically who has the bigger gun or more bullets. You don't have to do anything except find better guns, dodge and take cover. They could have added lots of different features to this game, but the fact that they decided not to is totally deliberate. It's because guns are bread and butter of this world, so just learn how to work with them or don't bother. Number 3. Dead Cells. To be more accurate, Dead Cells' 5th boss cell. When you talk about a mysterious deadly disease for more than half of the game that has wreaked apocalypse across the island, it only makes sense to push that disease into the gameplay with the malaise bar. I can't express how much I love and hate this mechanic and how genius it is. It forces you to be faster, defeat more enemies without wasting zero time. It's as if you got really sick and your medicine is distributed between all the mobs. And just like a real disease, as it progresses, it gets worse and worse and your chances of survival declines even more. This is the invisible thread I'm talking about. Number 2. World of Goo. What do the Goo Balls want in this game? To discover, to go to new places, find more of each other. That's exactly what we receive in the gameplay, and in 3 stages at that. First is just the concept of the level design and the logic behind it. Build solid structures to reach new locations in the level. Second is how sometimes you need to reach the other sleepy Goo Balls to wake them up. And the third one is how each level ends. Reach the tube at the end of the map to further displace the Goo Balls. So basically the game is about reaching your hand and getting a grip, just like the gameplay. And number 1, a game which does this so beautifully that it almost brings tears to my eyes, Celeste. Where should I even begin? First of all, this is the realest adaptation of mountain climbing in a game. And when you think about how a side-scroller does it better than all those simulators, mind-blowing. Second, the progression of difficulty. As you go higher up the mountain, it makes sense that it gets harder and you get weaker and more tired. The game even considers the angles of the mountain. Reaching new levels, more steep angles will come in your way. That's not all. 2 of the chapters, the hotel and the temple, are both kinda weaker than their previous counterparts, even though it should get more and more difficult with your progression. The game is trying to tell you that you're in a rather safe spot here, with walls to protect you from the wind and the cold. Just like how you go to a shelter, call it a day. Also, the new abilities are the new tricks you pick along the way to learn to deal with newer problems as you get closer to the summit. And all of this is shown under the theme of depression and self-awareness, which is also a big part of the gameplay. battleline, and our attitude. As someone dealing with depression himself, this is exactly how it feels when you're doing great for a few days and suddenly something goes wrong. Then it's over. You just fall and fall, and it never ends. Do you have any other example of games telling stories through gameplay? Tell me in the comment section. As always, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. And don't shoot the Ergo Hollow.